New to Soulframe in 2026? This one guide will save you 10 plus hours of confusion. So while the game went through many cycles of experiments and implementations, it's starting to settle now with a perfect foundation. So this is a good time to start now, but before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe for more Soulframe news, patches, and everything else. Now without further ado, let's dive right in. So firstly, this game is a free-to-play action RPG by Digital Extremes, the same studio behind Warframe. Now with that being said, we will notice some sort of similarities such as the crafting system, but before that, you need to know how to actually get into your main hub where your ancestors will be shown. This is the place you can craft new armor, upgrade your weapons, and customize your character further. When you start Soulframe, you will begin washed ashore. You wake up, watch a short intro cinematic, customize your mother's appearance, which influences your look. But don't worry if you aren't happy with the outcome, you can always change it later. Next, you choose your starting Pact, which is your class arm with abilities, tied to a virtue and faction which you could also change later on. So here are the three options explained simply. So Oscelda, which is the spirit virtue, is the one I and most other guides you will see out there will recommend the most for beginners. It's a nature mage style. You get great crowd control like petrifying or stunning groups of enemies, a strong self-heal that keeps you alive easily, and solid area damage. It feels forgiving and versatile and pairs well with magic staffs for ranged spells or even melee. This is the safe option early on while you learn the game and starts you with the Alka's Children faction. You can click the link in the video description if you want to know more about factions. Next is Tethrin, which is the Courage Pact. This one's for you if you just want to smash things up close. It's aggressive melee DPS, so high damage output. You can also heal or sustain health by killing enemies. And it feels tanky and powerful and starts you in the Kith of Kings faction. Siren, which is the Grace virtue, is the agile rogue or archer style, meaning fast attacks, great dodging, pickpocketing enemies for extra loot, and precision strikes. This is excellent for ranged bows or hit-and-run tactics and starts you in the Silent Rose faction, and once that's done and you enter the game, you should use your Guiding Sparrow by pushing the buttons shown on the screen to get to your next main objective, and then do that first little quest which will get you the ability to drop into the Nightfold. Think of it as your personal, peaceful pocket dimension. It's basically your safe home base that you can teleport to anytime you're not in combat, so just hit tab or the equivalent button. This is where all the important progression stuff happens. As you explore the world and find special ancestors, you bring them back here. Each one you recruit adds new areas and features to your Nightfold, like unlocking a blacksmith for crafting weapons and armor, a brewer for potions and dyes, or spots for customizing your gear and looks. If you send out your guide while you in the world, it will lead you to your main story quest where you will unlock each ancestor. The first one you get is Orlick, the friendly historian ghost with a little baby on his shoulder. He joins automatically during the very first main quest and sets up your codex and journal. So you can read all the lore and keep track of quests easily. Also, this is a good one for new players as you can do each chapter, which explains some of the basic mechanics in the game. Next comes Tuvalcane, the blacksmith woman. You find her by picking up a shiny helmet early on, and once she's in your Nightfold, she becomes your go-to for crafting weapons, armor, packs, and upgrades. She's basically the most important one for making your character stronger. Then there's Verminia, the Rat Witch, who you unlock a bit later by following a quest south of Fort Curlail. She lets you dye and customize your gear, brew powerful potions and elixirs, and eventually helps unlock fast travel. Together, these three quickly turn your empty Nightfold into a proper home base where you can craft, customize, and plan your adventures. Just follow your sparrow and glowing items and you'll meet them naturally. So combat is the most important thing to get right early on. So to start with the basics, you have light attacks for quick combos, heavy charged attacks that hit harder, and also parries, which has a perfect block timing to stun enemies. There's also dodges and weapon throwing, to do that hold block and throw your weapon for ranged damage or to pull enemies in. The real game changer is Soul Mode, so you'll press the button shown on screen. It highlights all the hidden loot, interactables, and glowing spots around you, and it's required for one of the best mechanic in the game called Smite. When an enemy starts glowing with a swirling orb, switch to Soul Mode and hit them with a light attack to execute them for massive damage. This also triggers your equipped rune for big extra effects. As you fight, you'll level up different weapon types and earn combat arts points to unlock new moves in the Nightfold. Then you layer in runes, which are powerful temporary buffs that activate on Smite and totems, which are animal-themed upgrades you get by charming creatures with Soul Mode, plus the light attack button. Another core mechanic combat system is Pacts. So Pacts are basically Soulframe's version of classes, but way more flexible. They're special arms you equip on your Envoy's Fey-touched right arm, and each one gives you 3 unique arcanics, so it's like active abilities on cooldowns, plus several passive bonuses that change how you play. They're tied to one of the 3 virtues, Spirit, Courage, or Grace, so they pretty much boost that stat and work best with weapons that match it. You start with just 1 pact after washing ashore, but you can swap them freely anytime you're in your Nightfold. You're never locked in. You can eventually unlock and craft all of them. As you use a pact, it levels up on its own and gives you points to spend in its own little progression tree for even stronger passives and upgrades. Once you're out in Midrath, the first big thing is to hunt down world trees. When you activate one, it reveals a huge chunk of the map around you, so always go out of your way to find them. While exploring, grab every glowing mote you see because they help translate weird names and lore on the map, but if some stay untranslated, just relog and they often fix themselves. But before you do that, you should make it a priority to unlock Tuvalcane the Blacksmith really early by following your Sparrow, so you can start crafting weapons and armor right away. In the world, use Soul Mode to charm cute animals in the wild. This gives you totems that you can slot into your weapons for extra power. Loot absolutely everything, smash every crate and barrel, and head into the Undercity whenever you find an entrance because it's packed with resources. So these dungeons in Soulframe are underground areas which you find scattered all over Midrath. The main one early on is the Durmak Undercity, but there are others like the Glades, Crypts, and special event ones that get added. They're procedurally generated, which means every time you go in, the layout, rooms, and enemy placements are different, so it always feels fresh. You drop in through entrances on the surface, and your Sparrow often leads you to them during fables or quests, and inside you'll fight tougher enemies. Solve little puzzles like hitting statues or lighting things up to open secret doors, loot tons of chests and crates, and hunt for rare resources and crafting materials. They're honestly one of the best places to farm Drax, upgrade stuff, and get stronger fast. At the end of a dungeon, follow your Sparrow to the exit and you'll usually get a nice big reward chest. They're perfect for when you want a solid 10 to 20 minute run of combat and exploration. Also, while you're running around the open world, there's actually a ton of stuff to do without entering dungeons. The main story ones are called Fables. These are bigger narrative quests that your Sparrow usually leads you to, and often unlock new ancestors or areas. Then you have Sparrow's Tales, which are the most common repeatable quests. You grab them from the Votive's Shrine at any world tree you've activated, and they give you short tasks like clearing corruption, rescuing animals, collecting items, or hunting specific creatures for good rewards and faction standing. You'll also randomly find little mini-quests and world events while exploring, like helping trapped NPCs or following notes, and special omen beasts or Agari that roam around as mini-bosses. Just keep your Sparrow out, activate more world trees to reveal more stuff on the map, and the overworld feels super alive with things to do while you're leveling up and gathering resources. It's honestly one of the best parts of the game. Soulframe is all about exploration, experimentation, and finding your own playstyle. Don't be afraid to try different packs and weapons. Nothing is permanent, and the game is super forgiving while you learn. Just remember to stay in Soul Mode, smite everything that glows, and explore as much as possible. If you enjoyed this guide, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. I'll be dropping beginner builds, pact guides, weapon comparisons, and update breakdowns very soon. Let me know in the comments, which pact did you pick? And what are you struggling with the most right now? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.